Shahid Amin Khan. Good morning here in Latin America and in general in America, and good evening for you in other continents. I am really happy to be here, and thanks for the invitation to participate in this very important meeting about a very important, a substantial issue like climate action and youth leadership, organized by this intergovernmental organization, the International Human Rights Commission. I want to greet the excellencies that are here, the former Prime Ministers, and also former Prime Minister of Belgium. Well, for me, it is so important to talk about these issues because I have been not even president of my country, but also I had a committee to work on the Amazon basin. I used to work like the head of another intergovernmental organization called the Amazon Cooperation Treaty Organization with headquarters in Brazil. And there I had the opportunity to work for the protection of this big forest, the biggest forest on the world, and also the biggest place where there is biodiversity and water resources, so important not only for Latin America, but also for the world. Then when we think about climate action, we must say that there is no planet B. We don't have another planet. That's the only planet where the human being can be alive, making all what we are doing, but in a very conscious way to protect the planet, to preserve this for the new generations, to preserve it for the current generations. Then put together climate action and youth concerns and youth action is so wise, because this is the generation that has to work very hard to preserve the planet that we have. And I can think in some ideas about this. First, I have been an educator most of my life. I had the opportunities to serve my country as Minister of Education, and I used to be a teacher since I was very young. Then I feel very inside me that the most important that we can to prepare the young generations, to prepare the kids. And I strongly believe that if we are, sorry, but maybe some people can mute the microphones, please. Can I ask this? Okay, thank you very much. Well, I was saying that education is the first issue that we have to think when we must talk about environmental issues, because the governments can make a lot of appointments. The presidents and prime ministers of the governments can sign agreements like the Paris Agreement, but if people is not very conscious about what's happening, we are not going to get the solution for this hard situation that we created, because the human race, the people, we create this situation. Situation has to be a lot with what we do every day. And of course, it's very important to have the framework of the law, the framework of the agreements, but it's even more important to make any person, all the persons in the world, conscious about what we have to do, how we have to preserve the resources, how not to generate waste, how to be against the consumption for the consumption. It has to be we have to be very careful about what we are doing. Then the commitment of the new generations, the commitment of the people are so important in this very important task to preserve the planet Earth. Another thing that I was thinking about is about the role of science. Of course, science is very important. Now, in this strong days that we are living this year with the pandemic, with the COVID-19, we are waiting the solution from the science side about create vaccines, about create medicines to let us live again in a way that we can move and we can share not only by in internet platforms, but in presential possibilities, because we humans are very used to be in contact with other people. Then we are waiting from the science, the solutions for this pandemic, but also the science can help a lot. Former Prime Minister of Pakistan says in a very wise way, for example, the use of alternative energy, and I agree totally. It comes from the side of the science, how we use the alternative energy, not the fossil resources, but the wind, the geoenergy and others can be solutions to protect our planet. Then science is so important, how we use the resources, how we are planning to use the tools that science can provide us. And the other issue that is so important is the consciousness, the awareness. We must meet and put together science and conscience, science and awareness. Why I say that? Because we know exactly that science can provide the tools. The tools are not good or bad. It depends on how we use these tools. If we have a knife, it can serve to clean or for a person that works with the bread to work with it. As a surgeon in a surgery can use a kind of knife, and it can be used for bath, for the war, for killing others. But the knife is not good or bad. It's only a tool. It's the same with internet. It's the same with all these science products that we have. Then we have to meet science and the awareness, how we can use it. Then if we get this perfect match, we can have more hope, foreseeing the future in a very positive, in a very optimistic way. The other thing that I am thinking about, how we can work together for the better of humanity to fight climate change, these really bad statistics that we are having every day, like this global warming producing the melting of the pole, the warming of the oceans, the not possibility to maintain the way that we behave. All these things, I think the other big tool that we can have is local authorities, because local authorities are very close to the communities. Presidents, prime ministers can be like visible, but a little separated from the people. But local authorities, like mayors, like presidents of the communities, they can be more closer to the needs of the people, how to dispose the garbage, how we can have clean water, how can we manage the everyday problems that we have in our communities. Then local authorities are really very important in this fight. And I know that a lot of local authorities, they are young persons, young men, young women. Then we can match all these ideas and put together. The other inspiration that I get from Prime Minister of Pakistan is when he talked about the power of the woman. I know for sure that in every language we talk about Mother Nature. We are not talking about Father Nature. I want to ask your permission to say that. A lot of men, very important and wise men that are here. But in any language, we talk about Mother Nature. And we are talking about the power of the female, the power of woman, how we can create life, how can create and we can take care of small babies, how we can do in our houses, in our homes, but of course being authorities, but of course being part of, not being separated for the decision makers. Being decision makers, we can be more proactive about the solutions. Then I ask all of you, very important personalities in the world, don't let women behind. We must be part of the decision makers. We must be part of the solution because we are used to. I said in some local and international panels when we talk about the rights of women, I said that being multitasking, like it is something that we have done since the beginning of the times, we get used to pay attention to the different details. We are not unidimensional, we are multidimensional. And with this multitasking, we can provide a lot of possibilities to know how to do, how to behave, how to take care, and this is so important. Then making like a complete set of things that I had said during this small speech, talking about the importance of young people, because young people are going to suffer more than us about what happens in the world with climate change. Talking about the science and how we can help it, talking about education and how we can put in the brain of the small girls and boys how important is take care of what's happening in the world, how responsible we have to be. Local authorities like a tool, a very important tool because they are close to the people, and women power. Let's think together about the solutions and we get the goal. We will get the tasks that we want today. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Your Excellency.